Good morning, good evening, whatever time of day it is for you. Welcome to this thing that I do called Thor's Entertainment. I am Thor, and now I am recording another Fatal Friday video. And Fatal Friday is the series I do where I go into the Kombat League for Mortal Kombat 1, and I casually try to get brutalities, fatalities, or other unique finishers with the main roster and cameo fighters. This week I am bringing back the combo of Kitana and the cameo Jax for the first time since Valentine's Day. And this time around we are going for a brutality for Kitana, and it is going to be her easy peasy brutality, which is the brutality version of one of her combos. I believe it is her 113. No, wait. It is the 112 combo. I don't even know if Kitana has a 113. Anyway, it is the brutality version of that combo. And low-key, I do love the name Easy Peasy for a brutality. Granted, this brutality doesn't really imply that Easy Peasy would have any sort of relevance for the naming convention for the brutality. Like with some finishers, it makes perfect sense why the name was chosen. Like in the very last Kitana video, I did the Last Kiss Fatality, which is a kiss of death, so Last Kiss makes a lot of sense as a name. Back when I was doing Reptile, he has a brutality called Tasty, and that's the one where he partially eats the opponent. Both of those names make perfect sense. Then you have Easy Peasy over here, which doesn't really imply what is going to happen, which I'll go ahead and spoil it ever so slightly. In this combo, whenever you do land the brutality, you end up cutting the opponent in half. Now, I don't know what exactly about that seems easy peasy, but I still love the name. I don't know, maybe there's some sort of an inside joke going on with that name, I just don't realize it. And this week in the Kombat League, I am going against a Scorpion user. In fact, this opponent is doing a double dose of Scorpion, using the main roster Scorpion and the cameo Scorpion. And on top of that, at the time of the recording, I believe this person possibly was still getting used to using Scorpion. Like, I see the individual is using his default costume, and there are a few times whenever he's doing combos and just does some odd things with them that could have been done differently to result in a lot bigger damage. Like, I had recently done all the finishers for Scorpion, so I'm somewhat familiar with what he can and cannot do. And just kind of comparing what I know about the character to what this person's doing, it just makes sense that they might be a little bit new to the character. I could be wrong though. The assumption that the person might be new to a character based on using the default costume is a little bit flawed when I look back on it, because I pretty much used Omni-Man's default costume the entire time I was using him. And the same thing was true whenever I was using Reptile back in Season 1. I don't think I changed his costume until like the last two fatalities maybe? And those weren't even his fatalities, those were Frost and Serena's fatalities. So yeah, probably flawed logic, but I mean the possibility is there. I am pretty happy about how I closed out the last round though. I managed to win the first round after executing a fatal blow after knocking Scorpion into the air, and I think that did like about 450 damage, so I'm pretty happy with that. And in the second round, I end up getting a little bit of a life lead early on, but Scorpion ends up kind of creeping back into the fight. Still, his health was pretty low though, so I kept fishing for the combo I needed to get that brutality. And in the end though, it kind of unfortunately cost me the round, and he ends up winning it with an uppercut. So yeah, we're going into a third and final round, mostly because I was fishing for that brutality, but you know what? I'm okay with it. It would not be the first time I've lost a round or a match because I was a little too dedicated to try and get the brutality. And going into the third and final round, things were going pretty well for me. It was not long before I held a life lead that led to me being almost full health versus his lower than 50% health, which is pretty nice. And progressing into the round even further after another Jax throw, I put this person below 30% health, and I felt very confident I could again fish for that brutality, just trying to land that combo at any opportunity I could. Getting the brutality should be easy peasy.
Kitana wins.
And there it was, the easy peasy brutality for Kitana. And yeah, unfortunately for Scorpion, he got, cut in half in the vertical sense. And like I said earlier, this is kind of an odd one, at least the name of it is, in comparison to what you actually do. Again, I may be missing something here, some sort of an inside joke, but it does not scream easy peasy to me. But the brutality itself is pretty cool, and I'm happy I got to see it and show it off there. Oh, that's kind of awesome. I didn't realize this until I was watching the footage back, but I just got a flawless round against this person. So, hell yeah, I don't get those too often, so it's always nice to see me take a round without taking any damage whatsoever. Anyway, back to the brutality. And with that out of the way, I will try to get the brutality at least one more time. Well, I guess only one more time since I won that match, and if I win one more, I'm done. But yeah, I'm going to try and get that brutality one more time at the very end of the next match, or whichever match I win next. Which, if things in this second round go anywhere near as smoothly for me as that first round that was flawless, I think it's probably going to be this match I end up winning and I get to close out the entire set. But let's not get ahead of ourselves too much, anything can happen. Let's go ahead and see how this thing ends up getting concluded. And yet again, we have a gigantic life lead, which is the perfect recipe to try and brutality hunt. Let's go ahead and go for that combo one more time and see what happens. And what happens is I screw up the combo, and I had the perfect opportunity to get back-to-back brutalities, and it just does not happen. Well, alright, that's fine. We ended up getting the brutality at least once in this video, and that is good enough for me. And thank you to the random Scorpion user I got paired up against in the Kombat League. I enjoyed the match, and I'm happy I got the brutality. Speaking of which, at the very end of the outro, I'll go ahead and show off that brutality one more time. That way we get to enjoy it together one final time before we part ways. But yeah, with that brutality out of the way, there's not too much more to say. I did end up getting all of Kitana's brutalities and all of the Kameo Jax's brutalities as well, and their fatalities as well. So yeah, I got all the finishers for both of those characters, so we have that to look forward to in the future. We should see plenty more of Kitana and Jax. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much everything I have to say here. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to check out some more of the stuff I have on the Thor's Entertainment channel. I do have other finisher videos like this for Fatal Friday. All of those can be found under the Mortal Kombat 1 online playlist. And if you really like the Mortal Kombat stuff, I do have playthroughs of the story modes for various Mortal Kombat games as well. For now, though, thank you again for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care, and I will see you next time.
Brutality. Kitana wins.